You are wrong, Malachi. You don't understand what you're toying with. The ocean does not serve any mortal, and I will not let you destroy Whispering Cove.
Then come, Amara. Let me see if you have the strength to stand against me and the fury of this ocean.
Whispering Cove, a small village nestled between the ocean and snow-covered hills. A winter night descends, bringing with it the biting chill of the wind and a mournful air of something unnamed. The silence is hauntingly still. Christmas lights glimmer on rooftops, and the distant chime of church bells echoes like a sorrowful hymn of the season. But farther away, beyond the horizon cloaked in darkness, the sea roars. Waves crash violently against the cliffs, their sound like the anguished cries of ancient spirits. The ocean is restless, and the villagers whisper to one another that when the sea grows angry, disaster is near. Since the grand wedding of Amara and the prince, Whispering Cove has known no peace. The ocean, once revered by the villagers as their lifeblood, has turned hostile. The rumble of the waves echoes like an enraged beast, signaling that something is amiss. As the villagers prepare for a cold Christmas, their community of African-American heritage, rich in traditions and folklore, begins to stir uneasily. Elders gather around fires, snow blanketing the village rooftops, whispering anxiously to one another. They speak of ancient promises, covenants their ancestors made with the ocean in exchange for peace. But now, the sea has turned its wrath upon them, and when the ocean is angry, no one can stop it. Amara, now bearing the title of princess in a small kingdom, cannot shake the feeling that she belongs to the ocean. Since childhood, she has always felt a special connection to the waves and the wind of Whispering Cove. Now that feeling has grown stronger, more intense, like an invisible tether pulling her toward the sea. Long nights pass as the prince sleeps soundly in the palace, unaware that Amara slips away alone. The silver moonlight bathes Whispering Cove, casting cold streaks of light across the black water. She often stands by the shore listening to a sound that only she can hear, the call of the ocean. Tonight, the air feels different. The wind bites colder, and the waves are more violent, as if an immense force stirs beneath the depths. Pulling her cloak tightly around her, Amara gazes out at the dark sea. But this time she doesn't just hear the waves. "Amara?" The voice is deep and haunting, lingering like a breath carried on the wind. Amara freezes, her breath hitching. Who's there?" she whispers. But her words are immediately swept away by the sea breeze. "Come back to us." The secret is not yet fully revealed. Amara spins around, her heart pounding. The voice is familiar, as if she had heard it before in dreams or old tales. She stares out toward the sea, where a veil of mist drifts like a curtain obscuring everything, and then, from within the fog, a figure emerges. Amara's eyes widen, her legs rooted to the sand. Slowly the figure becomes clearer in the moonlight. It is Ayana, her twin sister, who vanished long ago and became part of the lore of Whispering Cove. But this is not the warm and gentle Ayana that Amara remembers. Her long black hair is matted, dripping water onto her frail shoulders. The once pristine white dress is now drenched and clings to her body, transformed into a dull, lifeless grey. Ayana's eyes, once bright as stars, are now clouded and cold, as lifeless as the ocean's abyss. "Ayana, is it really you?" Amara whispers, her voice trembling, unable to believe her eyes. Ayana does not answer right away. She stands still, staring at Amara with a look that is both reproachful and sorrowful. They have awakened something that should not have been disturbed. Ayana's voice finally comes, soft like the wind whistling through rocks, yet terrifyingly clear. "And you will have to pay the price." Amara takes a step back, her legs trembling on the cold sand. "Pay the price? What do you mean? Who awakened it?" Ayana does not respond. Instead, massive waves rise behind her, reaching skyward like the arms of a monstrous being from the deep. The sounds of the wind, the waves, and a chilling whisper merge into a cacophony, drowning Amara in sheer terror. "Come back to us, before it's too late." Amara jolts awake to find herself lying on the beach, surrounded by darkness and the crashing of waves. She gasps for air, her heart still pounding. Ayana's image lingers vividly in her mind, an imprint impossible to erase. No, this can't be real, Amara whispers to herself, but deep down she knows something is happening. The ocean is no longer the same, the sea is demanding its due, and she is the only one who can stop it. With trembling hands, Amara rises, her gaze fixed on the roaring black sea. What did Ayana mean? An unopened secret? Who unleashed this fury? And why does everything lead back to her? These questions haunt Amara, crashing into her mind like relentless waves against the shore. What is truly happening in Whispering Cove? What secrets lie hidden beneath the ocean's depths that Ayana is trying to warn Amara about? And what will Amara do when she realizes she is the key to it all? If you were Amara, how would you face this warning? Don't forget to comment your thoughts and hit like and share this video with your friends and family in the United States. Stay tuned as we continue this mysterious journey in Whispering Cove, preserving the unique folklore and cultural heritage of African tales. Subscribe to African Tales Best and get ready for part 3, where the darkness of the ocean will rise and test Amara's courage. The winter sun rises, gently casting its light over Whispering Cove, as if trying to erase the chilling breath of the previous night. Snow blankets the rooftops, and Christmas lights twinkle like tiny stars, creating a serene and warm beauty. Villagers, from the elderly to children, gather to prepare for Christmas, a momentous occasion for the entire community. The church bells ring, blending with cheerful laughter as people head toward the harbour. Then, something extraordinary occurs. A large ship arrives. The massive weathered vessel exudes mystery, as though it had braved countless storms to reach this place. As the last sail is lowered, a group of men disembark. Clad in thick, rugged clothes and muddy boots, their eyes carry the sharpness of hunters. At the head of the group is Malachi. Malachi commands attention from the very first moment. He is a towering man with a regal and intimidating presence. His long black cloak, trimmed with fur, sweeps over the snow, and his face, chiseled like stone, reflects his dominance. But what stands out most are his eyes, cold and piercing, as if they could uncover the secrets of the world. Standing on the bustling dock, Malachi wears a faintly menacing smile that sends chills down spines. Raising a hand to silence the crowd, he speaks in a voice that resonates deeply like the echo of a drumbeat. "I have heard whispers of a legend here," he begins. The atmosphere shifts. The cheerful chatter fades, replaced by uneasy silence. Someone in the crowd swallows nervously. Malachi continues, his tone weaving a tale, as if it were an ancient fable. "My expedition and I have journeyed across distant lands where mythology and history intertwine. But here, in Whispering Cove, beneath the ocean lies a great treasure buried long ago. I have come to uncover its mysteries and claim what has been hidden." His words land like a stone dropped into still water, sending ripples of unease through the crowd. Murmurs spread quickly, and whispers of the treasure buried beneath the waves, something the villagers have long feared to disturb, grow louder. The elderly bow their heads, muttering prayers, while children clutch their parents' hands, sensing the tension in the air. Malachi steps off the dock, his gaze sweeping over the villagers like a predatory bird scanning for prey. And then, his eyes stop on Amara. Amara, standing among the villagers, clutches her crimson velvet cloak tightly. Her breath catches as Malachi's gaze locks onto hers. In that instant, she feels as if he sees through her soul, as if he knows exactly who she is, and the secrets she's trying to keep hidden. Malachi approaches, his unsettling smile unchanged. Stopping mere steps away, close enough for her to feel his icy presence, he speaks. "You must be Amara, the princess of this small kingdom," Malachi says, in a low, loaded voice. Amara nods, fighting to maintain her composure. "Yes, sir. Who are you, and what do you want?" from Whispering Cove. Malachi tilts his head slightly, his sharp eyes glinting. I want nothing but the truth, and I believe you know more than you're saying. Amara frowns. I don't understand what you mean. Malachi does not respond. Instead, he reaches into his cloak and retrieves a small object, a piece of black pearl, dimly glowing with an eerie light as though darkness itself is spilling from within. The crowd recoils in alarm, stepping back in fear. Amara's face turns pale. Her heart seems to stop as she stares at the pearl. It is the cursed pearl connected to Selena, her stepmother. It's still out there, isn't it? Malachi murmurs, his voice sharp as a blade slicing through the cold air. The object tied to the legend of the sea, and I am certain you know where this black pearl is. Amara remains silent, but a rising fear churns within her. How does Malachi know about the black pearl, the cursed object once bound to her, a relic of the sea's ancient power? She recalls the warning from the elder, Adana. The black pearl must never fall into mortal hands. It holds a power beyond control, a force that no one should awaken. Malachi is no ordinary explorer. He hasn't come to Whispering Cove to seek treasure, but to challenge the ocean itself, and Amara knows she is the key to his plan. When Malachi returns to his ship, the villagers remain stunned, the air heavy with anxiety despite the festive church bells trying to pierce through. Amara stands alone at the harbour, staring toward the horizon where the sea stretches endlessly. The waves crash louder, as if issuing a warning. He knows. He has found the clues, Amara whispers, her voice trembling. She realizes that if Malachi gains possession of the pearl, he will unleash the ocean's fury, and when that happens, all of Whispering Cove will descend into eternal darkness. As Christmas Eve approaches, snow falls heavier, blanketing the harbour and narrow streets in white. Evergreen wreaths adorn doorways, and golden lights glow warmly in every home. Yet beneath this serene beauty, a storm brews. Amara knows she cannot remain idle. She must find a way to protect the pearl and stop Malachi before it's too late. But how? Who would believe her? And most importantly, does she have the courage to face the darkness rising from the ocean? Since the day Malachi arrived in Whispering Cove, the atmosphere in Amara and the prince's castle had not been the same. The once steadfast love between them was now being tested by the cryptic words of the mysterious stranger. Malachi brought not only the threat of the ocean, but also the seeds of doubt, which he expertly planted to take root in the hearts of his listeners. During a Christmas banquet, amidst the dazzling lights and the melodies of carols, Malachi approached the prince. In his hand was a glass of red wine, swirling like blood in the glow of a nearby candle. Do you truly believe she belongs to you? Malachi asked provocatively, his deep voice resonating with challenge. The prince turned, his expression one of irritation. What do you mean? Amara is my wife. She vowed to stand by my side forever. Malachi chuckled softly, as if the prince's reply had been entirely predictable. He sipped from his wine before lowering his voice. When the ocean calls, she will no longer be yours. No matter how much you love her, you cannot stand against the power of the sea. She belongs somewhere else. Not here. Not with you. Those words cut into the prince's heart like a blade. At first he dismissed them. Malachi was just a stranger, ignorant of the love between him and Amara. But later, as his eyes fell upon Amara standing silently by the window, gazing out toward the sea on a cold winter night, a spark of doubt ignited. From that night on, the prince grew increasingly distant. He spoke to Amara less, and the once joyous conversations by the fire and warm embraces during chilly nights became memories of the past. The gentle glances they shared were replaced by an unsettling distance. Do you not trust me anymore? Amara asked one quiet evening, her voice breaking. Tears streamed down her face, but the prince remained silent. Do you think I belong to the ocean? Do you think I would leave you? The prince did not respond. He lowered his head, the turmoil in his eyes betraying his inner conflict. I love you, Amara. But I cannot ignore what Malachi said. If the sea truly calls for you, What can I do to keep you here?" Amara froze. Her heart shattered as she realized that the man she loved most doubted her, that their love was being overshadowed by the looming darkness of the sea. In the days that followed, Amara drifted through the castle like a shadow. She fulfilled her duties as a princess, smiling at the villagers, but her heart bore countless cracks. Outside, Whispering Cove celebrated Christmas in full swing. Church bells echoed through the village, snow-blanketed rooftops and streets, and evergreen wreaths adorned doorways. The warm glow of Christmas trees lit up homes, but for Amara, such beauty felt out of reach. She often left the castle to wander to the shoreline, the one place where she felt she truly belonged. The waves crashed violently against the cliffs, carrying with them the cold breath of winter. Standing on the sands, Amara gazed out toward the horizon where sea and sky merged into darkness. "Why?" she whispered, her voice carried away by the wind. "Why did Malachi appear? Why has everything changed?" The ocean offered no answers, only the roar of the waves, as though mocking her helplessness, filled the void. While Amara grappled with her pain, Malachi pressed forward with his plans. He wasn't content merely to plant seeds of doubt in the prince's heart. He began to manipulate the villagers as well. "Do you think the ocean will stay silent forever?" he asked a group of villagers in a small tavern. "The raging waves and howling winds, they're warnings. The sea is demanding back what is rightfully its own. If we do nothing, all of Whispering Cove will be swallowed by darkness." His words ignited sparks of fear in the cold winter night. The villagers murmured anxiously, and many cast wary glances toward Amara. They whispered among themselves, "She's one of the sea's people. Perhaps Malachi is right." The festive atmosphere in the village grew increasingly strained. The glittering Christmas lights seemed insufficient to dispel the shadow creeping over Whispering Cove. Finally, Christmas Eve arrived. The village lay under a smooth blanket of snow. Church bells rang out, golden lights illuminated the narrow streets, and children laughed as they played by a grand Christmas tree. Carolers sang hymns, filling the air with hope. Yet outside the merriment, Amara stood atop a hill, her eyes fixed on the ocean. She knew this was the turning point. Malachi wasn't just a treasure hunter. He knew about the Black Pearl and the secrets she had long tried to keep buried. If she didn't act, Whispering Cove, and everyone she loved, would face ruin. "I can't let him destroy everything," Amara whispered. Her voice was soft, but her eyes shone with determination. "I must face him. I must protect this village, no matter the cost." In that moment, Amara was no longer a forlorn princess or a doubted wife. She was the protector of Whispering Cove, chosen by the ocean itself to stand against the encroaching darkness. She descended the hill, her steps firm against the snow-covered ground. A plan began to take shape in her mind. Amara could wait no longer. The signs had become increasingly clear. From the roar of tumultuous waves to the mysterious arrival of Malachi, all urging her to seek answers. She knew there was only one person who could help unravel this mystery: Elder Adana, the guardian of Whispering Cove's ancient legends. As Amara entered the elder's small cottage, a chilling sensation washed over her. The dim light of an oil lamp flickered against the wooden walls, casting eerie shadows. Elder Adana sat in an old wooden chair, her deep, ocean-like eyes reflecting both weariness and the wisdom of ages. "You've come, Amara," she said, as though she had anticipated this visit. Amara sat across from her, wringing her hands nervously, trying to conceal her anxiety. "You know what's happening, don't you? About Malachi, about the Black Pearl, and the whispers of the sea. Please tell me everything." Elder Adana remained silent for a long moment, as if weighing her words carefully. Finally, she sighed, her frail hands gently brushing over a crystal orb on the table before her. A misty white smoke began to rise from within the orb, revealing images of turbulent waves and encroaching darkness. "The Black Pearl is not merely a curse, Amara," the elder began, her voice soft yet resonant, like the wind whispering through rocky cliffs. "It is the key to unlocking the ocean's most ancient power. But that power is not meant for humankind. Amara froze, her breath hitching. Power? What do you mean? The sea god Ira forged the black pearl from his very soul, Elder Adana explained, her gaze fixed on Amara's troubled face. It is the source of the ocean's strength, but it also binds the god to this world. When the pearl is awakened, the ocean's wrath will rise, but if it falls into mortal hands, all will be destroyed. Amara felt her chest tighten. Then what must I do? How can I stop Malachi? Elder Adana's penetrating eyes locked onto hers, as deep and unfathomable as the sea itself. You must face the sea god, Amara. You must return as a creature of the sea to fulfill your destiny. Only he can halt the coming storm. But remember, the ocean gives nothing without demanding a price. You will have to sacrifice, and that price will be steep. Under the cold winter moonlight, Amara stood on the snowy white sands, her gaze fixed on the churning black waves. The wind howled, and each crashing wave seemed to dare her courage, but Amara refused to retreat. If I don't do this, everyone will pay the price, she whispered to herself. She stepped into the sea. The freezing water engulfed her bare feet instantly, but she continued forward. Step by step, the water rose to her knees, then her waist. The moonlight shimmered across the surface, creating faint silver trails. When the water reached her chest, a mysterious force pulled her under. She felt herself drawn into an unseen vortex, but did not resist. Closing her eyes, she surrendered, allowing the ocean to guide her. When Amara opened her eyes, she found herself in an entirely different realm. The underwater world unfolded before her, mystical and breathtaking. Glowing coral reefs surrounded her in vibrant hues, and schools of fish swirled gracefully, seeming to lead the way. But amidst this ethereal beauty loomed a chilling darkness. And then she saw him. The sea god Ira appeared as a towering entity, his eyes blazing like twin lighthouses, his body enveloped in swirling, ever-moving currents. Both majestic and terrifying, he fixed his gaze on Amara, his voice booming like thunder beneath the ocean depths. "Who are you to trespass in my domain?" Amara knelt, feeling impossibly small. "My lord, I am Amara. I have come to beg you to quell the ocean's fury. If you do not, Malachi will destroy everything." "Malachi," Ira growled, his voice shaking the ocean floor. "He has no right to awaken my power. But you, Amara, are not without blame. You bear part of the responsibility." Amara looked up, her eyes filled with fear. "What do you mean? I only wish to protect Whispering Cove." The sea god moved closer, his piercing gaze delving into her very soul. "You were chosen, Amara. You are the bridge between the ocean and humanity. But that balance was broken when you allowed the black pearl to fall into human hands." Amara shook her head, tears streaming down her face. I didn't know Malachi would come." "It does not matter," Ira interrupted. "Now you must bear the burden, but I will not grant you anything for free. If you wish for me to stop Malachi and save your village, you must be willing to sacrifice." "What must I sacrifice?" Amara asked, her voice trembling yet resolute. "Your love," Ira replied coldly. "You must give up everything you hold dear. The one you love, the life you know, none of it will remain yours. This is the price for maintaining the ocean's balance." Amara fell silent. In her mind, images of the prince and their cherished moments together flashed vividly. She knew their love was the most precious thing in her life, but she also understood that if she didn't accept this condition, everyone in Whispering Cove would suffer. "I accept," Amara said, tears streaming freely down her face. "I am willing to give up everything to save those I love." Ira nodded, his glowing eyes reflecting approval. "You have made the right choice. But remember, from this moment, your fate will no longer be your own. You must return as a creature of the sea to complete your mission." Ira raised his hand, and a brilliant light engulfed Amara. She felt her body becoming weightless, as though she were dissolving into the ocean itself. Her memories, her feelings, her dreams, all began to fade, leaving only a profound sense of peace. When the light subsided, Amara was no longer human. She had once again transformed into a creature of the sea. She had become a part of the ocean, an eternal guardian devoted to protecting Whispering Cove. Deep beneath the ocean, where no light could reach, Amara opened her eyes to find herself standing before a colossal being, the sea god Ira. His form was encased in swirling currents of water, each vortex seeming to hold both the power and wrath of the ocean. Ira's eyes burned bright, like two blue flames piercing through Amara's soul, making her feel smaller than she had ever felt. Beside Ira stood a familiar figure, Ayana, Amara's sister, who was no longer human. Ayana's body was translucent like crystal, her long hair flowing in the water, and her eyes, once bright as stars, now held nothing but unending sorrow. Ayana spoke, her voice echoing as if carried from the past, a blend of love and despair. "The pearl cannot fall into Malachi's hands," Ayana said, her eyes pleading with Amara. "He will destroy everything. You are the only hope, Amara. You must stop him." Amara was stunned. "But how? How can I possibly fight him?" Before Ayana could respond, Ira's voice boomed. It was deep and resonant, like thunder rolling through the depths of the sea, commanding and awe-inspiring. "You are a child of the ocean, Amara. I chose you. But to save both the human world and the ocean, you must be willing to pay the price." Amara looked up, her eyes meeting Ira's fiery gaze. "What price must I pay?" "Your love, your life, everything you know and cherish," Ira replied, his voice lowering to a somber tone. "The ocean does not give without taking. Are you willing to give it all to protect the ocean and those you love?" Amara hesitated. The image of the prince, their shared memories, and the life they built together flashed in her mind. But then she saw the despair in Ayana's eyes, the raging storms above, and the fear of the people in Whispering Cove. "I am ready," Amara whispered, her voice trembling but resolute. On the shore, Malachi had begun his ritual. He stood within a circle drawn in the sand, holding the black pearl that emitted an ominous glow. Chants of dark incantations flowed from his lips, merging with the howling winds and crashing waves. The villagers had fled their homes near the shore, which were being consumed by monstrous waves. Yet amid the chaos, the prince ran forward, heedless of the danger. He shouted Amara's name, his voice lost amidst the thunder and the roar of the sea. "Amara! Amara!" But Amara did not answer. The prince saw Malachi in the distance, standing beside the black pearl. Clenching his fists, his eyes burned with fury. Before he could reach Malachi, however, a dazzling light erupted. The radiant light came from Amara. She emerged from the ocean, her body glowing like a beacon in the storm, her eyes radiating the power of the sea. "Stop, Malachi!" Amara's voice thundered, resonating over the crashing waves. Malachi turned, his expression briefly startled but quickly replaced by a smug grin. "Amara, perfect timing. You are the final key to unlocking the power of the Black Pearl." Amara said nothing. She stepped toward Malachi, the light emanating from her growing brighter, overpowering the dark aura of the Black Pearl. Malachi shouted, raising the pearl higher, as if to harness its power. But before he could complete the ritual, Amara lunged forward, seizing the black pearl from his grasp. "No, you cannot!" Malachi roared, but it was too late. Amara clutched the pearl to her chest. The light from the pearl surged, engulfing both her and Malachi in a massive wave of energy. "For Whispering Cove, for love, I will give everything," Amara whispered. When the light subsided, the storm was gone. The ocean lay calm as glass, the sky clear, and stars twinkled above once more. But Amara was gone. The prince stood alone on the shore, his face etched with anguish. He called her name again, but only the waves answered. Amara, where are you? The villagers slowly returned, gathering on the beach with expressions of disbelief. No one knew exactly what had happened, but they all understood that Amara had sacrificed herself to save them. Days later, the prince stood on the same beach where he and Amara once made their promises. A gentle breeze carried the whispers of the sea, soft and soothing. True love is sacrifice, Amara's voice echoed faintly, like the waves' caress. Live well, and protect Whispering Cove for me. On the water's surface, a small glimmer appeared, a pure white pearl, shimmering like a final gift from Amara. The prince picked up the pearl, cradling it in his hands as tears streamed down his face. Amara had become one with the ocean, an eternal guardian of Whispering Cove. Yet the story was far from over. The ocean, though calm for now, still held secrets waiting to be revealed. The dawn sun gradually dispelled the lingering cold mist from the stormy night. The shores of Whispering Cove were unusually serene, yet no one in the village dared to believe this peace would last. The white sand was disrupted by the traces of violent waves, scattered with driftwood, seaweed, and glimmering streaks of water. The prince, his face weary and his eyes sunken from a sleepless night, walked along the shore, his steps seemingly guided by an unseen force. His heart was heavy, not just from the loss of Amara, but also from the helplessness of failing to protect her. Then he stopped. Amid the white sands lay a pure white pearl, glistening under the sunlight. The small pearl radiated a gentle glow, as if it held the very soul of the woman he loved. He picked up the pearl, feeling a strange warmth spread through it. His heart ached. In the distance, Elder Adana stood atop a large rock, where she often came in the mornings to observe the sea. The ocean breeze whipped through her worn shawl, but her deep eyes remained fixed on the horizon. As the prince approached, holding the pearl in his hand, Elder Adana offered a faint smile, a smile that carried both sorrow and hope. Amara has not left us, she said, her voice warm and soothing like a lullaby. She has become one with the ocean, forever protecting Whispering Cove. The prince gazed at the pearl, as if searching for Amara's reflection in its soft light. She sacrificed everything. But why did it have to be Amara? Why did she have to bear it all? Elder Adana turned to him, her eyes filled with wisdom and sorrow. Because true love always demands sacrifice, Your Highness, and the ocean never forgets its promises. From afar, the sound of the waves murmured. It was not just the sound of water crashing against rocks. It was Amara's message. True love is sacrifice. The ocean never sleeps, and I will always be here to protect everyone. The prince closed his eyes, tears quietly streaming down his face. He knew Amara was still there, somewhere in the depths of the ocean, watching over the village. While the villagers of Whispering Cove tried to regain their peace after the storm, within the palace, another storm was brewing. Selena, the prince's ambitious stepmother, recognized this as the perfect opportunity to execute her long-held plan to seize power. In a private meeting with her loyal advisors, Selena stood before them in an elegant gown, her face radiant, but her eyes full of cunning. The prince is weakening, and Amara is gone forever, she said, her tone cold yet persuasive. We cannot allow an unfit ruler to hold the throne. It is time we return this kingdom to someone deserving. One of the advisors hesitated before speaking. But Your Majesty, the people adore the prince, and Amara's death has only deepened their sympathy for him. Selena smiled, a dangerous gleam in her eyes. Sympathy does not make a king. I have ways to show the people he is unworthy, and you will do the rest. As Selena schemed to overthrow the prince, strange occurrences began to arise in Whispering Cove. Fishermen reported hearing soft singing whenever they ventured to sea, a lullaby that carried a sense of unease. Waves brought glowing blue streaks to the shore, shimmering eerily in the darkness. Elder Adana, who always watched the ocean with keen eyes, knew this peace was only temporary. The ocean is not yet at rest, she warned the villagers. Something is stirring in the depths, a force we cannot yet comprehend. Fear began to take hold among the villagers. They prayed to Amara, hoping she would continue to protect them. But would her strength be enough to withstand the coming storm? On a moonless night, when the waves crashed louder than usual, a shadow appeared on the beach. It was Selena, who had once been defeated by Amara and the ocean years ago. Selena returned, her lips curled into a sinister smile. Her long black hair flowed in the wind, and in her hand she held a fragment of the black pearl, glowing with a malevolent light. "They thought I was gone forever, but they were wrong," Selena whispered, her eyes burning with hatred. "Amara sacrificed herself, but no one can stop me. Not the ocean, not any soul, and certainly not that weak boy." Her shadow vanished into the night, but her whispered words lingered along the shore. In the palace, the prince stood before the pure white pearl. He sensed something unusual, as if the pearl was trying to convey a message. "Amara, what are you trying to tell me?" he murmured. Suddenly, the pearl radiated a brilliant light, and a soft voice echoed in the room. "Danger is approaching. Protect Whispering Cove. Protect the kingdom." The prince was startled. He knew this was more than just a warning. It was a call to action. On the shoreline, Elder Adana stood facing the ocean, her expression grave. The waves rose high, as if they too were signaling an impending storm, a storm that would come not only from the sea but from the hearts of men. "Amara, we need you," she whispered. Will Amara return? What schemes will Selena bring to overthrow the prince and seize control of the kingdom? And the ocean. Whose side will it take in the battles to come? We have just witnessed the noble sacrifice of Amara, who became one with the ocean to protect Whispering Cove from destruction. But can this peace truly last forever? With the return of Selena, the bearer of dark curses, and the schemes brewing within the palace, a significant question looms. What challenges will Whispering Cove face next? With the black pearl in her possession, Selena's ambitions extend beyond Whispering Cove. Her sights are set on the throne itself. Her goal is not just to exact revenge on Amara, but to exploit the unrest in the palace to overthrow the prince. The tale of Amara is not merely a legend of the ocean, but a profound lesson in love and sacrifice. Amara has shown us that true love is not about holding on, but about letting go. She was willing to give up her own happiness to protect the people she loved. Yet her sacrifice goes beyond that. It serves as a reminder that no matter how difficult, we always have the strength to do what is right, even when the cost is great. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions on this dramatic journey in the comments below. If you love the story of Amara and Whispering Cove, be sure to like and share this video with your friends and family in the United States to spread this inspiring tale. If you're part of the African American community, help preserve and celebrate the cultural richness of folklore that holds timeless life lessons. And don't forget to subscribe to African Tales Best so you don't miss the next chapters of this journey. Every story is not just a legend, but a treasure trove of lessons about life, love, and courage.